Welcome to We Don't Owe You Shit with me, Caden Coleman. Make sure to follow, like, and subscribe to this podcast. And leave a comment, damn it. I want to know what you think. Welcome to We Don't Owe You Shit with me, Caden Coleman. I don't know why, and I'm going to say it every episode. I have no idea why I do that intro like I don't have an intro that y'all just listened to get here. But you just going to let me do what I do to feel comfortable, because I can't just start talking and like I feel that feels awkward for me. Okay. So with every episode, I am going to be doing shout outs. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to do a quick shout out to some of the people that commented on previous episodes. So we got Aiki4, who said, "Hey y'all, this was a great episode. I'm a white cisgender woman and I learned a lot. Thank you." And then we have El Kosogorin. I know I'm saying this wrong, but whatever. 06. Thank you very much for this episode. I appreciate it very much, and it was very insightful. And then we have Angel, who said, "I love these conversations. We need more people like this," with the heart hands. I think I said that last episode, but if I did, then Angel got 2 shout outs, and that's just where we're at with it. Okay. One thing that I have forgotten to do, and this is going to be a kind of long list, but y'all are here to listen to me, aren't you? So that's fine. I always forget to shout out my Instagram subscribers. Yes, because I forget that Instagram and Patreon, there's just too many platforms, but I love you all. So let me do a quick shout out. We got Joseph Smith 1991, Ryan Casada. Shout out to Ryan Casada for subscribing. Cal Light. We got Dom DLR. We got Dennis Blue Music. We have Laxis, Doc Creer Perry, IE _ 2.0, Mama Bat, Juicy Fruit, Juicy with an E at the end. Juicy says that they're my biggest fan, so shout out to Juicy Fruit. And then we have Nora A. Popke, Rachel Joy, which is Reese Maggie's, and then we have Trevor Sean Hawkins. It's a lot of y'all, and I just want y'all to know that I love y'all, and I'm sorry I forgot about y'all before, but I promise I won't do it again. Okay. So anyway, shout out to my Patreon subscribers, the same ones from last episode, because ain't nobody else subscribe. I guess y'all didn't care to see the video version of my podcast, and that's fine. It's okay. I'm not offended at all, except for that I am. But we have a guest today, and this guest is near and dear to my heart, and I'm so glad that he is here. We'll get into the background of how we know each other and how long we've known each other, because I think a lot of people have no clue how long we actually have known each other. But I'm going to bring him in now.
What's going on, bro?
All right, now, damn. Hold on.
Well, you know it again.
I'm all right.
Don't do that. You know, I hate when people do that thing.
I had to. People always ask me, so why didn't your voice drop? First of all, bitch, you don't know what I sounded like before. Also, I'm a gay man. I purposely put my voice up here. I'm not the trade.
And you
I'm
know
a bottom.
But you know this, my voice has always been deep.
Yes, you always did have a deep voice, and I did not. I still don't.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's all right, because high octave voices matter.
They do.
So I'm just gonna call you EC. Your name is long as crap, and I'm not. You can do all that. But actually, you know what? I done talked enough. You introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are.
Cool. My name's EC Pizarro III. Like Caden said, I have a very long name, but EC is the initials for my first name. I'm a creative director, brand designer, behind the scenes content pro, and the executive director of Trans Tech Social Enterprises. At Trans Tech, we center transgender, gender nonconforming, and non-binary folks in tech with free resources. Our motto there is employ, empower, and educate. So that's, what I do. I build websites, video edit, I'm the neighborhood tech support. I've helped Caden with a Google sheet a few times. I'm neighborhood tech support.
So I'm gonna make this a short story, but I'm still working on that, by the way. I had to take a break but I'm putting together some information, some data for our community in places that we don't normally speak about. Y'all know how I do. So I'm like so proud of myself. I'm doing this whole thing with my little Apple Pencil on, and I'm putting it on my story. And I was clearly doing it the wrong way. And he hit me up and he was like, you know that there's an easier way. And I was like, say what? And he gave me like a whole video tutorial. And I've never looked back. And I am just so pissed off. Y'all, if y'all saw how I was doing it, ooh, I felt so stupid that day. Ooh, he was like, you could just copy and paste. I was like, shut the fuck up. But it actually helped me a whole lot. But I'm just mad that it took him. I had already did so much. Like, you didn't see my story a couple of hours ago. That was like really crazy. But you know what?
The algorithm is trash. The algorithm is trash.
It is. I will. You know what? We'll go with that. We're gonna go with that. We're gonna let that be a thing right now. Anywho, so I have known EC for Jesus Christ. I'm gonna put it this way. I personally have been transitioning for 15 years. Okay. And I knew him before that. Okay. This is so embarrassing. If you are an OG Black queer specifically, but specifically a lesbian with a sprinkle, a little dabble of trans men, and a sprinkle, a little dabble of gay men, gay cisgender men, y'all remember Downlink. Now, Downlink was back in the day when, baby, you couldn't wait to get off of work or out of school or whatever it was that you was doing so you could get on that computer, baby, and we would and you would get you a webcam sometimes, or you would just get you some headphones that had a microphone so you could do your voice chats. And when people came in, you would type their name real long so they could see it. And that was you like saying, oh, hey, it was like that. So it's been well over a decade and a half that we have actually known each other. And a funny story is when you first came out, you were Cameron. And what a lot of people don't know, I get asked a lot of times about like my name. And I always tell people the funniest thing is my name was going to be Cameron. But I felt like that didn't fit me. They wanted me to be Cameron because I was a quote unquote white boy. And we can digest that and process that on a whole nother day. But they were like, because you're a white boy, Cameron. And I was like, at first I went with it for like a week and a half. And then I was like, I'm not a Cameron. And you remember everybody called me Kay or Bright Eyes. Mm-hmm. And my last name before I got married was Dennison. So I said Kay Den. This was well before everybody's name was Caden, Aiden, Raiden, Jaden, Shaladen, Skagagan, Spaladen, Laladen, like Graydon. You know what I'm saying? Like this was well before. I'm an OG Caden. So I don't care that your nephew is named Caden. Me and your 3-year-old nephew have the same name. Baby, I've had this name. And I came up with it.
Yo.
I'm sorry. I just went off. So anyway. So how long ago? I can't remember. I remember when you like announced that you were transitioning. And I gagged, but I didn't gag also. Like it was like I was excited more than like shocked.
Most people
because you were always a boy.
Yeah, nobody was really shocked. Like when I told my mom, she was like, "We were kind of just waiting for you to tell us." Like that's like.
Oh, did you want potatoes with this? Oh, like
they was like, "Okay, so what are you changing your name to?" All right, like it gave very that. Even with my friends, they was like, I mean. When like by that point, this, I had been stopped going by my birth name, right?
Yeah. Right.
Everybody knew me as something else. People didn't even feel comfortable using pronouns with me. And this was before like pronouns were a thing. People were looking at me like, they was like, I'm just gonna call you by your name because it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. And yeah, you were like the straight boy. And I remember they used to always call me a little faggy. Remember that? That's so inappropriate. But I always act like a gay man. So, like, when people are shocked about the way that I act, it's people like him that know that I've always been this person. I have not changed. Like, I was not one of those people that took testosterone and suddenly was like, yeah, because no, baby, I've always been this and I always will be. And
And
he's
I've
always been
always
that.
been this.
Literally. Down to the hat.
Yeah.
Except for they were fitteds back then that were too big.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
we're not going to get into that.
But
Yeah, we're not getting into that. But so anyway, how long has it been? How long have you been transitioning now?
it'll be 11 years in November.
Yeah, so you wasn't. I knew you wasn't that shortly after me.
No, it'll be 11 years medically. I started testosterone in November. I had told my family in February.
Got you. Okay.
So for me, once I came out, everything went like real quick. It was like within a year, I was in corporate America and stuff, and like, fuck y'all. Respectfully.
Yeah, respectfully. I lived stealth for a long time. A lot of people don't know that. Like, but I think that people don't get that was like the climate of being trans back then.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that these young trans men, and what I mean by young is I don't mean age-wise. I'm talking about the ones that just started transitioning or just came into their identity recently. They don't understand what it was like to even get testosterone back then.
What?
Baby, you Google testosterone, some gray market shit came up. It was creepy. You had to order that supplements and shit from India if you wanted it. Like, finding a binder, all we had was Underworks.
Yeah, there
wasn't. You had Underworks. Yeah, you didn't have all these options. Underworks or an ace bandage or some tape. That was it.
And not trans tape.
Yeah, we didn't have trans
tape.
Duct tape. Duct tape.
Real tape.
Baby, I used to be like, because I had some big old bazungas too, baby.
Neither one of us was small.
No.
Up top.
And I used to tie them hoes. I didn't give a damn where they went. I just needed them gone.
That part.
Ooh, I don't miss a binder.
I don't miss it at all.
Especially now living in Texas, baby. I would be dead.
I live in Florida. What do you?
All right. I grew up in Florida. I forgot. You lived in South Florida. I grew up in South Florida. I forgot that. Yeah. Absolutely on not. So anyway, I want to talk really quick about trans tech social. And I'm gonna be real with you because I am always so all over the place. Like, I had an idea of what it was, and what you did, but I didn't really delve that deep. And that's no shade. It's nothing like that. I have ADHD and I'll be like, oh, let me click this. And I'll be like, oh, look, purple. And I'm over here. Or like my kid needs me, or, something is going on.
Life.
So I was like, let me make sure that I do some background on trans tech social. Honestly, because of the name, I thought that, I don't know what I thought. I thought it was like some exclusive shit that like you had to be already in tech to be. And I was like, I've become that person, y'all. I can barely operate my iPhone. I have to ask my best friend all the time. I'm like, how do I get to? That is so embarrassing. But anyway, my 9-year-old tells me how to operate shit now. Her TikTok transitions are chef's kiss.
You're like, go ahead and make this for me. Thanks.
Yeah, I'd be like, you're going to have to teach me how to do that because my brain don't. Anyway, neither here nor there. We're talking about trans tech social. You see how that ADHD just almost took over? Mm-hmm. So I just took like a quick like blurb and then you can go into it. But Trans Tech Social is a resource for trans folks and allies to get career-ready skills. And it's founded by Angelica Ross. Yes. And all I have to say about that is I remember when I found out that you knew Angelica Ross. And it was when we were at the march in DC. And I was so jealous because she just started following me like a couple of months ago. And I gagged, like I fangirled the fuck out. And there are some large names that follow me, but for some reason, because baby, that's Candy. Like, I don't know. Anyway, tell us more, like go into detail. I want people to know how they can, what they need to be doing to be a part and all that good stuff.
Well, all you have to do to be a part of Trans Tech is fill out our membership form. So our membership is free. Our resources are free. We don't charge our members for anything. We have our summit coming up. We have our summit every year. Our summit is March 28th to March 31st. Completely virtual, transtechsummit.com. If you're a member by March 15th, you get into the summit for free. If not, you got to pay, accountability, you're not a profit. But for our members, we have a private Discord server. We have a Trans Tech learning library that is all curated content from our members. That's the most invaluable resource that we have. We also offer Linux Foundation certifications in cybersecurity, coding, JavaScript, etc., where we cover the course as well as the exam.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so we get 250 of those a year. We also have Google certifications for UX design, project management, data analysis, IT support, cybersecurity, IT automation, and digital and e-commerce marketing. Those are through our partner Career Circle. We have that. We also have access to Masterclass. We have our GROW program, which is the career readiness program that is supported by Google. So yeah, we got a lot over at Trans Tech. We have over 5,400 members across 50 countries. So when I took over in 2021, 2020, we had about 800 members. So we've grown substantially.
That's crazy. I didn't know that all of that was offered. And what I love about that is, from what I understand, the tech industry, it's kind of reminiscent of like the food industry, the food service industry, where it's very bro-y and very like not as corporate as it might sound, but with the good pay, right? And I think it's so dope that trans people can have access to these trainings that they probably otherwise wouldn't be able to afford. And not only do you get the trainings, but you also get help with career readiness, like, which I'm assuming is like interviewing and resumes and all of that good stuff.
Prep. We have recruiters come in, people that are currently working in their careers in tech coming in, salary negotiation, which is huge. And the main thing that we do with trans folks is they feel like tech is inaccessible. They only see like white cis men in the tech. I tell people all the time, the reality is that tech cannot afford to exclude people because of the way technology is in the world.
Right, exactly.
If they exclude people, they're not making the most money.
Right.
And everybody knows in a capitalist society, it's all about the money.
All about the Benjamins.
Secondly, trans people think that tech is just coding. And
it's not.
It's so much more.
Well, you just named like 80 things.
Exactly. But we work with community to identify your transferable life skills, because with tech, a lot of it is transferable from the standpoint of project management. If you've ever planned a party, if you've managed clients, if you've managed customers of any sort, you know how to manage a project.
Right. Right. A lot of people don't get that. A lot of people don't understand that just because maybe you were a team manager in a call center. Those are skills. Those are skills that you can take with you into different industries and will give you leverage over other people, especially in addition to the extra training and stuff.
Exactly.
So it's Trans Tech Social. So this is just for trans people?
No, our membership is 89.5% trans, but we do have cisgender people in the space. The reality is that there are different people, whether you're formerly incarcerated, whether you're a stay-at-home parent and you're transitioning back into the workforce. There's all different types of transitioning. But in our model, we center transgender people.
Yes.
So absolutely. We center Black trans women, formerly incarcerated folks, those that are currently or formerly engaged in sex work, because we believe at Trans Tech that if you center the most marginalized and make it accessible and equitable for them, it is accessible and equitable for all.
Exactly. Well, I don't like the thought of, but it's like getting to the people that don't usually get the, once the rain it pours, they get the little scraps. We're starting with them and now everybody. So we're making sure that everybody is getting access and not just the people with the, generational wealth and power and privilege, right? Exactly. I thought it was important to say that because there are a lot of cisgender people that are supporters of mine. Hey, y'all, that once they hear trans, they're like, oh, that excludes me. So no, it doesn't exclude you.
No, it doesn't.
If you're looking for some new skills, he just said the membership is free. I will make sure to put the link in the caption, of the information part of this podcast. You don't have no excuses. Go get you some training. And I'm sure you just mentioned it's a nonprofit. So the more the merrier. They're telling you, come get this work, literally, figuratively speaking. Come get it. You know what I'm saying? So great way to transition. Let's talk about your accomplishments, because you went from, I feel like you went from, first of all, let me just say, I am so fucking proud of you. I can't even begin to express. I literally, every time you post something or you on your way somewhere, I be in here like, yes, come on now. I love it. I love it. I love it. I want to talk about your accomplishments though, because I feel like you went from learning how to make websites to I felt like all you did was make websites. And then it was like, bam, I'm doing this, Trans Tech Social. I'm speaking. Where were you just?
Where was the last place I went?
You had on green.
I went to Highlander Center. I had on green. Oh, that was the Marsha P. Johnson Institute. Revival of Love experience.
Yes. Okay. So I knew it was, yeah. I'm like, I remember the outfit. Look at me. I ain't shit. I'm such a
like you had on
green.
And no
idea what you were doing.
That, I knew exactly where I was.
Right, but why do I remember the damn outfit? Everything
because they just released the reel yesterday of my.
That might be it. And I thought how much I love that color. You can't tell because of the lighting, but it's really like the color of this accent wall. I am green I'm on green right now. It changes. But anyway, you've done so much, and I feel like it's just been up and you get and just up and ramping up in awards and accolades and all that. So what I want you to do right now is toot your own damn horn. Let these people know who they listening to.
All right, so I'm gonna go back a little bit. 2015, 2016, I won a Marcom Award for my graphic design, platinum and gold respectively. In 2019, I got the Emerging Leadership Award from the Torch Awards for the National Trans Visibility March. On that march, I was also the director of social media and communications. I am on Out 100's 2022 list for LGBTQ change makers and policymakers, LGBTQ advocates and policymakers changing the world. I received an Esteem Award for National Outstanding Service for the Transgender Community from Pride Index. The Marsha P. Johnson Institute, the 2023 Legacy Award at their Revival of Love experience. And I received the Catalyst Award from Alpha Omega Kappa Fraternity Incorporated.
Listen.
I think I remembered them all.
That is really, really dope. That is, I was on Out 100. I never talk about the things that I do. It's sad. But I was on there 2021. The year right before yours, and I'm pretty sure I shared it when you posted it, and I was so let's talk about tech. Let's talk about the industry and what that looks like, because I've heard a lot of horror stories, but I've also heard a lot of I really don't even know how to refer to it, but I've heard of a lot of, especially trans women, I mean, albeit white trans women, that have found, camaraderie, or at least feel like they found camaraderie, and more of an accepting environment than they've gotten in other industries. So I want to hear from you as a Black trans man who's now out. I mean, I know you lived stealth for a while, but now we all know your business. Do you notice a difference in the way that you are received, or the way that people give you respect now that you're out, as opposed to when you were stealth? So when you were cis assumed, did they treat you differently than they do now?
Even though I'm very out and have it everywhere, people still don't put the puzzle when they see me. I will be out with like a trans tech shirt, my name badge, everything. And they will ask me, how does it feel to be an ally helping the community? And I just be like, no one said I was an ally. Like,
why would you assume that?
So I don't see a difference in treatment. I think for me, it's laborious. I consistently have to out myself. You may have seen the Foxhole situation where the guy like tried to make it seem like he had one up, like they could tell you a dude.
I saw that.
Blind. I'm just gonna say they blind. They can't see you, man. You was clearly a dude.
Yeah, you want to know a secret? I was born female.
Really?
Ha!
Like what if
Ha! Now your mind's kind of blown.
Baby, I got my life with that. Do you hear me? I watched that like 20 times. I shit you not.
Let me tell you, Kaden, I went to go do it. So shout out to Hope Giselle. Hope Giselle, she has been a part of Trans Tech before, and there's a bunch of Black trans women that knew I was trans while I was working stealthily in community that like held my secret. And Hope Giselle was one of them. She hit me up and she was like, hey, Foxhole wants something, you know, Foxhole is Foxhole, your discretion, right?
Right.
They told me what they wanted to do. And I was like, all right, let me get my feet wet into something. So I was like, all right, cool, let's do it. So I look over the questions and I was like, I already know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I saw what girls were on the panel, and me and Kayla already know of each other. Mm-hmm. So, Kayla's like, oh, hey,
Right.
And I was like, texting my friends on the side. I was like, yo, I'm going to go through this whole interview and never say I'm trans. Like, that's going to be the biggest gag for me at the end of the interview when it posted and be like, yeah, you was talking to 3 trans people on that call, not 2 like you thought.
Right.
But when he thought he was making a joke,
baby,
I was like,
I felt it because I've been there. And I talk about it all the time when I do my diversity, equity, and inclusion conversations, where there's always in those conversations somebody who's going to make it seem like they can always tell. And they're going to turn to one of us, usually, and be trying to either invite us in the conversation. Oh, well, because you hear me, bro. Like, they'll never be men. We know what it's like to be men. And you be sitting there like, right. So you can always tell. So I'm trans. And you can see, they be looking like that meme with all the formulas and shit. And you can see them trying to work it out. And then they be swallowing their own tongue looking stupid.
Have you ever gotten, because I've gotten this as well, is I've disclosed that I was trans, and they say, you make a really handsome man. I don't understand why.
I knew that's what you were about to say.
I'm like,
yeah.
Never mind. Never mind.
Story. The funniest story is, so people always ask me like, hey, can I see pictures of you before you transition? And I always say like, yes, you can see the pictures, but you're not going to be like shocked. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to give you the gag factor that I gave you. And so I remember when I started my transition in Atlanta, right? And back in the day, depending on where you lived, you had to go to therapy and get your letter to even get on testosterone. I wanted to go to therapy anyway. But anyway, I went to therapy and I had a session with my therapist. It was a cisgender man. This was at like an LGBT center, right? And I had my first session with him. Went back for my second session, and I'm talking to him. Now, mind you, I hadn't started tea or anything yet. He goes, so what makes you, if you don't mind me asking, what makes you want to transition to be a woman? And I just looked at him. And I was like, no, it's the other way around. This man looked at me. He was like, oh, okay. And the whole rest of the session, he was like trying to get in. And at the end of the session, this man touched my knee and said, I don't see why we need to have any more sessions. I'm gonna go ahead and write you the letter. I shit you not.
Do you know I had the same experience.
I'm not.
It was by the second session. She was like, so, because I lived in Virginia at the time, and during that time, Virginia, people will be surprised, but Virginia had a law where you did not have to have any surgeries to change your gender marker on your driver's license.
Nice.
All you needed to do was have a letter from a counselor that says, change it from this to this, and they would change it, no questions asked.
Oh, wow.
So by the second session, she was like, so you can't be going into the women's bathroom.
They're like,
you should not be going into the women's bathroom. I'm not even on hormones yet. She's
right.
Like, you should not be going into the women's bathroom.
Yeah. And speaking of bathrooms, like dead ass, like I stopped going to women's bathrooms well before I even came to the realization, or not realization, because I knew. When I finally came to peace with the fact that I was trans, I stopped going to women's restrooms. Why? Because every time I would walk in there, there would be some lady that would be like, sir, you can't be in here, sir. And I'd be like,
but see, your voice would give you away. Me, when they do that shit to me, there's a man in, you know what?
They didn't care. They did not care. Because you want to know what? You know, I used to think my voice would give me away. I did. And then I met my ex-husband. Now you were around. That man sounded like a lady. Okay. And so I know that regardless of your stature or whatever, you know, while people might expect you to sound a certain way, people always expect me to sound like the trade. It's because of the beard and the tattoos. And, you know, I'm not no little guy, you know what I'm saying? So they expect me. I haven't been on T in months. So getting down there, they expect me to
getting down into that baritone.
Right. You gotta get down here.
They don't understand.
They don't expect me. They want me to be like this. And I'd be like, hey.
Do you know what's crazy? People expect when they hear my voice, they be like, the fuck?
Yeah, because what? We supposed to switch voices is really what it's supposed to be. Like, that's what it is.
I mean, it is what it is. I like my voice though. And
I actually like my voice too. Like, I don't have any qualms about it. I don't feel dysphoria about it. I don't feel like I'm not man enough. It doesn't bother me, especially being that I am a gay man, and in the gay community, baby,
people sound like anything.
They sound like that. You will get a range. You will get a power bottom that likes to get his head plowed through walls, literally through a wall. Who sounds like this? Or they'll also be like, yeah, what's up, man? Be 6'4.5", 348 pounds. You be like, nigga, you wear a size 15 shoe. So I know that, like, it doesn't bother me. But the thing is that people expect us trans men, they don't think of us as men. They think of us as women who are trying to be men. And so they think that we wake up and put on our personas. And it's like, girl, I go to sleep, wake up, shit,
I don't put on shit but my drawers.
Okay. And maybe some clothes. Y'all know I don't like clothes.
And drawers are sometimes optional.
Because who's doing that?
I work from home, so
maybe
it's a waste up situation all the time.
Maybe if that, it depends on what I'm doing. Let's be real. Okay, so like, you're busy. Like, you travel more than I do now. Also, people, can y'all hire me? No, I'm just playing. You travel more than I do. Every time I turn around, you are
literally
somewhere.
I'm literally on flight on Sunday.
Yeah, I know. And I like, part of me wants to be envious, but being that I hate flying, like, I hate it. I hate living out of my suitcase. Shameless plug. I just bought a Soul Guard suitcase. It just came here today. I'm looking right at it. And it is now, it's sustainably, all of the materials are sustainably sourced. So we're not leaving a carbon footprint. I learned about it from Skylar Baylard.
Okay.
He's always talking about it. And I did. I went on Amazon and I tried to get like that. There's the little inserts that you get to like to organize your stuff and whatnot. It didn't do what it was supposed to do. Now, Soul Guard is not cheap, right? However, you can charge your phone. It has a closet in it. It has a closet in it that stacks up. Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you, and I'm gonna send you his little link so you can get. I'm not sponsored. I'm just telling y'all that I was proud of this purchase, and for me, I cannot stand fucking traveling. I hate it because I always feel so discombobulated. but having it has pockets for everything, and you can get everything in there, and it even gives you like instructions like how to best pack your shit so that it fits in there properly. They have carry-on sizes, they have check bag sizes, they have larger carry-on sizes. I got the smallest carry-on because baby, I don't want to check a bag. I don't have enough patience.
Listen,
but
I'm gonna get in and out the airport.
That's what I'm saying. As soon as I get off the plane, I'm trying to get the fuck out. So anyway, long-winded plug. Check out Skylar's page if you're listening. Pink Manta Ray is his name on everything. But back to you. So you being on the go all the time, does that affect your personal life in any way? Like as far as like dating and child, me neither.
I don't date. It does affect my personal life, but also living in Florida, I live away from a lot of the people that are close to me.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I know like the political climate is really trash in Florida. I get that. I know a lot of people are leaving Florida. I have political reasons for staying as well as personal reasons. So the political side of shit is everybody can't afford to move, and I ain't about leaving nobody behind.
Right.
So the personal side, I have very bad seasonal depression. I have been living out in Florida for 7 years and gone through life, and life has been lifing from a broken engagement, almost living out of my car, all types of shit. And the weather really helped.
Yeah. It's so funny that you say that. It's actually crazy that you say that, because I was literally just talking about that today, about how I can't even remember what the full conversation was, but I was like, you know what? But at least living in Texas, I don't have to deal with seasonal depression, because while it gets a little nippy, the sun's sunning. I'm getting my vitamin D no matter what. So I don't deal with that like how I used to deal in Philly and up in the Northeast, because even though I miss my folks and I wish that I could be closer, I'll see you when I have an event that way. Love you.
Will somebody pay me to fly out there?
Right, exactly. I'll see you. We're gonna make some time. So it does affect your personal life, but it's not like you're not dating. So really, honestly, your friends should just understand.
Well, it's also a thing of like, I like it. I feel like I get to go to different cities. I get to meet different people.
Are you an extrovert?
No, I'm actually an introvert. Me living out here though, I work from home.
Right.
I don't I interact with people when I have to go out.
Yeah.
And from a standpoint of like, I have friends out here that I kick it with. Like I'm going to the movies with my homie tomorrow. I got friends I kick it with, but from a standpoint of like how visible the org is and the founder is, whenever I go out in community, I can never go out as just a community member. That's not a thing.
Yeah, right.
So like anytime I go out, it is EC Pizarro III, the executive director of Trans Tech, trans advocate, all of these different things that have to show up. So for me, it's like it's very intentional when I go outside in groups in Florida. So if you think about it, my socialization happens when I'm traveling. So that's why I like it. Like when I'm in Florida, I wouldn't say I'm more isolated, but I am. I'm to myself. I work, I bike, I hang out with my friends, but my friends are cisgender. Like my close friends.
Mine too.
Cisgender, shout out to Stevie, his boyfriend Phil, my homegirl Babyface. Like those are my friends in Florida. My hairstylist Chase. Like those are my friends.
Right.
But for me, it's on some. I like to be in different places. Like it's not that I don't like the fall or don't like winter. I just the way y'all like to come to the beach for a week and then go back to life. I like to go to fall for a week.
Yep.
And then come back.
Yeah.
Go to the mountains for a week. And then I come back to where y'all vacation at. And that's what I like.
Yeah. And I grew up there, so I definitely get it. I will never intentionally go somewhere where it snows. That's just how I feel about it. And nobody can change my life. But speaking of personal lives, you said you don't date, which I get. Me neither, because why? It's fucking ghetto. Who wants to do that? But I know that the nosy folks. I know there's somebody watching this like, who is Joe? I'm just trying to see what it's at because they do that to me too. How do you identify as far as your sexuality goes?
I like what I like.
That is the vaguest motherfucking answer.
I know it is because
I've
the
heard.
reality is, okay. So, Kaden, you know this. From a public standpoint, people have only seen me in committed relationships with cisgender women.
Mm-hmm.
What I am saying with I like what I like, that does not mean that I have only been intimate with cisgender women. I have been intimate with
a gamut of people,
a gamut of gender expressions.
A myriad, a cornucopia of people,
like a myriad of folks. My friend,
he don't discriminate. If he like you, he like you. If he finds you attractive, he finds you attractive. He also said he's not dating, but he did not say that he's not hunching. So here's my thing: if you feel so inclined, shoot your shot. You might win. Who knows?
Non-disclosure will be required.
You will have to sign an NDA. I need to start doing that. It's no shit. I don't be hunching. I do not be hunching. I really don't.
I mean, I don't be hunching either. Like, that's not a... It's more intentional these days. I feel
exactly.
Yep. From a... Not just more intentional, but I think a lot of people don't talk about people that live stealth for a very long time and then become hyper visible, and it kind of like skyrockets.
Yeah.
And how that shifts dating.
Yes.
Like, my whole style of dating now is different because I understand my proximity to a very famous Black trans woman. So for me, my antennas instantly go up with anybody that's in community that wants to get close to me, because I don't know if you really want to get close to me or if you want to get close to her, because you found out at the march that I knew Angelica, but I was with Angelica when she got the script for Pose. Like, I've been down with trans tech since 2017.
Oh, okay. Like, word.
So I had been working with Angelica behind the scenes and just nobody knew. The deal with Angelica was, I'll do whatever you want me to do for free and volunteer for the organization. I need community service hours for my frat, but you're not about to put me on no flyer. You're not about to put me on no poster. None of that. I'm not about to be your poster boy. Like, I'm gonna be over here.
And I love that it's still kind of that way. Like, you're not a poster boy. You're not a poster boy, but like, those who know, and like, you're still receiving the roses that you're supposed to be receiving. But I feel that, because I was gonna say it, but I didn't want to say it, and then you said it. And you said before we started recording, he was like, we live the same life, and it's starting to really feel that way, because honestly, truly, one of the main reasons why I'm not interested in dating is because people want to date Caden X Coleman, right? The public figure, and they see that I have X amount of followers and verifications and yada, yada, yada. And if you Google me, I now have a Wikipedia page and all this shit. And I'm like, damn, I wish that Wikipedia page paid my bills, but they don't. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I always can tell there's people, even in friendship spaces, like they'll hit me up, and it'll be people that I haven't talked to in a long time. And then they'll start talking about, just trying to get this podcast off the floor. Oh, yeah, just trying to get on this content. Oh, just trying to, I'm getting better with asking people for help. And you'd be like, or people who are only interested in me once they see that I have a platform and suddenly they DM me. Like, girl, no, that ship has sailed, sister girl. I don't want it.
You don't know how many people... When people started to see just how close my proximity was,
I'm sure,
where all of a sudden, oh, hey, we've been in space plenty of times.
Mad times.
And I've tried to say hello.
And you didn't want to have nothing to do with me.
Because the thing is like, stealth, low disclosure, I think a lot of people that have been out in community for a very long time, you got to understand, like, stealth people aren't not watching the community.
Right.
Like, stealth people are literally in the shadows. Like, I've been to balls and been next to folks and been there, and y'all have always just pinned me as the trade.
Right.
And that's on y'all. I've just been in the corner because, Kaden, you know my friend group.
Yeah.
They're all very visibly queer.
Yes.
They're all. I am the most binary nigga of the bunch. Everybody is visibly queer.
I think that I'm probably, and that's the craziest part, me being as gay as I am, I'm still probably the most binary person, because no matter how gay I try to look, I be trying too sometimes. But no matter how much I try, it's not until I start moving and talking that people be like, oh. But like just standing there, I've literally been like at work and stuff with my nails done. And I'm not talking about just like this. I'm talking about acrylic nails. And Trey will walk up to me. This is in Philly. Trey would walk up to me and be like, what's that, your team colors? A football team. Girl, no. No, it's not. Like, I never get read as queer, ever. And it bothers me because I love that.
I mean, from a standpoint, I would identify as queer. Like, I had to have a conversation with myself when I got out 100, because they ask you directly your sexual orientation. And that's something, even before I transitioned, I never answered. It was always, I like what I like.
Yeah.
I like what I like. It's just, you always saw me with women. And that's just because I'm very private if it's not official.
People know, like, again, the way I even present myself and my brand is that, like, you are not going to see me as just a brand or a robot and expect perfection from me, because that's not realistic. And I don't know how to put on like a facade. I just am. I just am. So there's going to be flaws, and you're going to see real life shit happening. You know what I mean? Like, that's just what
life be life in.
Life literally be life in. And people don't expect us to have life like issues.
If I could listen, if I could only tell you how life has lifed in a different way since taking on this position, baby, it's just been like, all right, hold that. Okay. Hold that. All
like
right.
In a good way or a bad way?
I mean, a little bit of, I think I don't really see anything as bad. I see
right.
things
Or good or not
like,
so good.
Good or not so good, opportunities, if you will. I went on a really like deep spiritual journey when my uncle committed suicide. So I'm super intentional.
Yeah.
Well, there was a time where I just went ghost on social media and I said nothing. Like, I just went away and I just stopped social media altogether. And it was during that time. And in my family thought I had a crush on him, but he was the guy in my mind. Like
the prototype.
The prototype. He was young, successful. Think about a black man in the 90s with an earring. Works on Wall Street, but wears turtlenecks and looks like he's in New Jack City. Like, I
swear we're the same person, because I was thinking like Wesley Snipes in New Jack City. That's exactly where my mind went.
He had the high top fade. Like, I was just like, that is the pro. Ooh, that's what I want to be when I grow up. Like, he was still cool. He had the like legit, because at that time it was get the job that's going to pay well, that gives you insurance, that does all of these things. Like, he had that. He had the girlfriend. He had the fly apartment in Jersey City right across from New York. Like, it was like, so that was my guy.
What is that called? Reho somebody. I can't even think of the name of the area. I can't think of the name of it. The name of that part of Jersey that's right across from New York. Hoboken. There we go. That's what I don't know where I got Reho.
Jersey. I was about to say, I was like, you talking about Hoboken? But when that happened, like, it shook me. You know what I'm saying?
I could imagine.
So, like, from a standpoint of seeing things good or bad, like, everything I do is because he lost his fight with depression. Yeah. Right? Like, he was diagnosed with mental health issues. And everything I do is intentional.
I feel that.
Everything. So it's like, even things that like kind of pull me down, gut wrench me, I kind of have to frame it as, all right, this is a time to be still and to be intentional. And I think as a kid, I was always on the go. Like I was a all-year athlete,
Same.
karate, Girl Scouts, all of these different things, orators for public speaking. It was always something.
Mm-hmm.
So now as an adult, it's like, no, I need to be still.
Mm-hmm. Slow down.
Like I need to check in with myself.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I'm working on that. Thanks, therapy.
And in that process, like I've lost a lot that
same.
People think are still close to me. I just don't talk about it.
Same.
But I was the friend that always said yes.
Mm-hmm.
I was the friend, like, I know I'm a good friend.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm a good friend. Like, I'm a 10 toes down type of dude.
Yeah.
Call me anytime. Respectfully, my phone. Those that know, my phone goes on do not disturb at a certain time. You better call twice. I'll answer though.
Yeah, because that means you really needed to get through. You know what I'm saying? Like you better have really needed to get through. You know what I'm saying?
So, but
I feel that.
Since what I can say is this: since all of this, ironically, a lot of the trans people that were close to me are now more distant. The cisgender people that are close to me are like rallying. I think they were comfortable with me struggling because they had a place in my life because they felt that they could show up for me in one way. Now,
so you needed them. They felt.
I'm not going to say I didn't need support at that time because I did. Like,
no, what I'm saying to you is they felt as though you needed them, and when you no longer needed them.
They felt like once I was able to sustain, they had nothing. I feel like that they felt like they had nothing.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
And for me, I felt like they did still have something. Or like, like you held me down.
Right. So like we're like this.
My thing is, and I use this analogy, like if I have been given the blessing of Angelica Ross to take a full advantage of the opportunity and position that I am. So I'd be a fool not to because she's blessed. Absolutely. Right?
Yes.
So for me, it's like I'm trying to be the LeBron James of this shit. Like you could be Rich Paul ain't hard off. Like nobody on LeBron's team is not set with their own shit. And like the way tech is set up, it's like, do you understand just because of who the founder of my organization, what type of stuff comes in my inbox where people are asking me recommendations for stuff? Like, do you have a recommendation for this position? We're specifically looking for somebody from your community. Oh, let me look through my Rolodex.
And people are y'all are blocking y'all blessings if you listen.
But also, like if healed me is an issue, and for them it is happier. Right. It is better for them to not, because healed me has boundaries.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Healed me has boundaries, and some of those boundaries means saying no to you and yes to me.
And a lot of people can't handle boundaries. They don't like boundaries.
No. So like, there's no beef. I wish them well. It's sad, honestly, because I didn't expect my cis friends to be so comfortable with me being so visible. You know what I mean? Because
that's kind of strange, but why?
Because my friends be forgetting I'm trans.
I get that, but what does that have to do with the visibility of you being trans? My friends forget I'm trans all the time.
Because I feel like being visibly trans in that way, if you really see the true colors of your cis friends, because then they really have to advocate, because it's a standpoint of I'm cis assuming. So there's never a public time in any type of interaction that you would ever have to advocate or voice your political opinions about the transgender community.
I get where you're going with that.
Now
and I understand visible,
that. Yes. I'm being publicly vocal about my stance on Black trans women, Black trans femmes, and protecting them, and sex work is work, and all of these things. And you need to respect people's pronouns. And I don't care what they look like and what pronoun they tell you. Respect that shit.
Respect it. Like,
so,
yes.
You don't know cisgender people until you start putting them in.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's
And
true.
everybody, I feel like innately, because of the way society is set up, everybody got a little bit of transphobia in them, because
Everybody, even trans people.
Even trans people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, we gotta all unpack that shit, and it
Yeah.
doesn't have malicious intent behind it.
Right.
I'm not saying you hate my whole community.
Right.
I'm just saying what you said right there was
transphobic as fuck, bitch.
And here's how it's fucked up. Like, let me explain.
Here's where you had me fucked up, because yeah.
What do you mean I'm not a real man? What?
Right.
What is?
Yeah. Well, what do you mean? What is
fake?
that supposed to say?
What is fake about me? And
Right.
then I'm like, so what is your definition of a man? See
Right.
how you didn't start off with someone born with a penis?
Right.
Now, I just don't understand why your thought process.
We're
doesn't
the
understand
same
that I'm a
person.
man
That's
too.
crazy. That's so crazy. That is so crazy. We literally be going through the same shit, and that is absolutely nuts.
So yeah, my cis friends have been like cheerleaders, and it's dope. Like,
I love that. And
And
this
they
actually
just fucking
segues
friends.
perfectly into my question when we're talking about, this is not about cis people, this is about the community, because we talked about how me and you, we both mostly have cis friends. My friends are cis too. Like, it's not intentional. It's just what happens, I guess. What are your thoughts on anti-Blackness and the way it finds its way into the trans community as it pertains to recognition and visibility?
I know that if Angelica had put like a white trans woman in charge of trans tech, there would be a completely different level of visibility. I know that. That if it was a white trans man, there would be a different level of visibility. I also know that if it was a Black trans woman, there would be a different level of visibility. Anti-Blackness shows up in the work, you know, and it's layered and it's complex. One thing that I'm most proud of at our organization is we've instated an anti-Black and anti-racism statement that we make our board members sign, that we ask our board members to sign. Like,
that's
no,
really
you have to agree to this. Like, and it's not a disposable thing. It's a community accountability. Like, no, we're not one strike, you're out. Like, no, we're going to talk about it, because the reality is there's Black leadership here. There's Black trans leadership at this organization. And there isn't a lot of Black trans led organizations
at all
in that part. And then if you talk about like the girls that are like in the lights, how many of them have community organizations?
Right. And that's the thing. The people that they uplift, you'd be like,
but also like it play. I don't have them type of feelings because it plays into the society.
Yeah, but I do.
I mean, I hear you, but it's not surprising to me. It's like,
right. No, it's not surprising to me.
It's not surprising. Like, I know that my social media probably be completely different
if you were white.
If I were white. I know my social media following
I know mine would be
different
too.
If I was the type to like all of my pictures with my shirt off, like, and just outside, you know what I mean? Like, but the reality is like I'm getting more comfortable with sharing more of my life. Like, I need people to be patient with me from a standpoint of, you're asking me now to disclose a part of my life that I have not talked about publicly for 10 years.
Right.
You think it's just going to happen overnight because y'all give me a whole bunch of awards? Like,
they do think that. They do think that. They think that we as trans people, it's never hard for us to talk about our identity. And because we're putting ourselves out there, that we should just be comfortable with sharing all aspects of our lives and even the most intimate things, because people are curious and they want to get educated. Yes, they do believe that. They absolutely believe that.
And I think my advocacy shows up in, you're going to respect my humanity, you're going to respect my masculinity, you're going to respect my manhood without knowing any of that.
Yeah.
And because it's like I work in tandem with you. You know what I mean?
Right.
You the type like, nah, this is full transparency. I'm the type where you don't need to know. That's not what I'm talking about.
Yes. But I also work in full transparency of what I deem appropriate for me to be transparent about, which is on point, because I am relaunching my transgender time, and the very first episode is going to be about boundaries. So stay tuned for that shit. what advice would you give to the younger trans generation? Now, we already talked about younger, so I don't mean people who are younger in age. I just mean those who are just now either coming to their identity or just started their transition, whatever that may look like.
Be patient.
Praise the Lord.
Be patient. In the beginning, for me, I was in a rush for everything to happen. And mainly I had surgery so quick, just from a standpoint of I was entering corporate America. There was a level of safety that I needed to have entering in corporate America.
Yes.
But be patient, because you are changing. And I think and people are so wrapped up in the physical, but when you really tap into the fact that you are trans, you then start tapping into all of the thoughts that you have suppressed because you thought you could not express that because your identity was such.
Which is a perfect example of just dispelling the idea that testosterone is what makes people gay. No, baby, you were already gay. You already wanted that PP. You wanted that penis, but you didn't want it. Your mind said absolutely not, to keep you safe, because it didn't want that around you when you were perceived as female. That's like, honestly, or, vice versa for like trans women who suddenly are like, damn, that girl is sexy. What is going on? Now they're lesbians. Yeah, it wasn't that you were a gay man, you were a trans woman, and you still are attracted to women, or you found yourself, now you're attracted to everyone. Like, it don't matter. You're willing to open your brain up in that way. And that's why it's important not to rush. I think that is one of the biggest pieces of advice that people look over.
Yeah. Don't like patience, and find community that's really down for you.
That's really down for you.
Because there's going to be ebbs and flows. There's life, and just not with transition. And also find something outside of your transition. Like, so serious. Find something outside of your transition. Kaden remembers the time where people were offing themselves. Trigger warning. You can put it in there before.
Yeah.
But people were offing themselves with all of their surgeries complete, quote unquote. They were to the point where they were done doing surgeries. And they didn't know anything about themselves because they have been so wrapped up in their transition. Like, really tap into who you are outside of your transition. What do you like? What do you don't like? What are your hobbies? Like, tap into that.
And then look into
nobody gonna take care of you but you. So like, tap into that.
Absolutely. That's beautiful advice, because the community and finding yourself outside of your transition, I think, go hand in hand too, because what we'll do is we'll get into community with trans men who are not in alignment with who we are, right? And does that make them bad people? No. But what I've learned, and what I learned when I first started my transition, is that a lot of trans masculine people, and I only ever speak about trans masculine people because I am not a trans woman, and that's not my lane to speak on. But a lot of trans men will guide you in the direction they think you should go, right? So I was guided to they were trying to push me to be straight. They were trying to force me to be straight, and I'm still cool with my last girlfriend that I had before. I was like, well, one of my girlfriend before the last one, but it was a stud, the last one. But anyway, neither here nor there. I'm still cool with her, and she was never shocked that I liked men. And it wasn't because I wasn't attracted to her. It wasn't that I didn't eat the box right or anything. I was doing what I needed to do, right? But the point is that, like, I was who I was, and I felt like in order to be a man, I had to do these things. And a lot of people fall into that trap, and they end up rushing into surgeries, getting top surgery, bottom surgery, probably never even wanted bottom surgery. But you've been taught that in order to be a real man, you have to have a penis. Now you have gotten bottom surgery, but maybe you didn't research the types of bottom surgeries that exist, right? So you didn't get the one that was more affirming for you. So you can't have sex the way you think you thought you could have sex, or whatever the case may be. And so if you don't really have a grasp on who you are outside of being a trans person, it's going to be very easy for other people to sway you in a direction that can be very bad for you and your mental and emotional well-being. So I think that is so important to talk about. I tell people every time I do talks and trainings, I tell people that transitioning is not just physically and socially. It's emotionally, mentally, and spiritually.
All of it.
All of it. Like it is a transition, all encompassing. People, and that's why when people say I want to transition, oh, I want to become transgender, I'll be like, what do you mean? You're already trans if you're trans. You might be making the move into
everybody's journey looks different,
right? But what you're saying is you want to medically transition because you're still going to be transitioning, and that's why when people ask me, "Are you done transitioning?" I'm like, "Baby, I'm gonna be transitioning for the rest of my life." Does that mean that I'm gonna be on testosterone for the rest of my life? No. Does that mean I have more surgeries coming up? No. But some parts of me are going to be transitioning as a result of who I am and my identity, maybe my sexuality or whatever the case may be, but I'm going to be continuing to transition for the remainder of my life. That's just part of it. And that's what I be telling people. You're not just signing up to take testosterone shots and get a Sunni beard and muscles, because you got to remember that the hairy ass, the beard may never come, but you might get a hairy ass crack. That's usually the first thing that happens. Say I'm lying. Say I'm lying. You can't. So what is next for you? What's on the horizon? Like, where do you see yourself? Like, what would you have to look forward to? I mean, don't divulge nothing that you can't, but like, if you got some big things in the work, you can just like, I got some big things in the work. Yeah,
I got some big things in the work. Some announcements coming out.
That's awesome.
There's some stuff in the works, and if I can finally get the time off to finish my product, Marsha's Web, that will be launching in June. But like next Pride season, I'm gonna be outside. You gonna see me. We got some big partnerships coming up.
I'm trying to have a BBL by then.
Not a BBL,
baby. I'm trying to. You know I ain't got no ass. Like, this is not a secret. I got a Hank Hill booty, and I feel like I deserve to have an ass for the rest of my life.
Listen.
You know what I'm saying? But I can't just go get a BBL. I have to split open my abs. So I have to get that fixed. And the only way to get that fixed, because it's not covered by health insurance, is to get a tummy tuck first. They got to sew all that up. And then I have to get what's called a skinny BBL. But either way, I don't even know. I might not get a BBL after I do all that. Because who wants to do that much surgery? It's never that.
The surgery be draining.
Yeah, that's draining. But I'll just wear some booty pads. And people be like, well, what you going to do when you have sex? They're going to get whatever ass I give them. Sorry.
Wow. We went off on a tangent. Ain't going to ADD again. And it don't help because I entertain it. And I'll be like,
yeah, you be like, right. Yup. Uh-huh. Yeah. And I'm over here like, because... All right, so tell the people where they can find you, where they can keep up with you.
EC the third with periods in between, so EC period the period third on Instagram, TikTok, ecpizarro.com. If you're a LinkedIn, that's usually where most of my like trans tech stuff is. Instagram and TikTok, it's a little bit of me traveling. Different speaking engagements. If you're looking for a speaker, I can come. My website is ecpizarro.com. You can see all of my stuff. I have like my speaker reels and things like that. Like Kaden said, I'll be outside. So I did the digging. I need you to do that digging, like, because that helps with what I'm talking about. That helps with the end. Because I had to do some digging. I was like, what? I got Yale on my shit? Let me put that on my website. Like,
I have Yale too. And I'm like, why am I not? I'm about to go speak at UNC again in November. I think Duke University again. This is like my fourth time back at Duke. I'm like, why am I not?
Duke need to be all... Duke is like one of the top when it comes to like medicine, like from what you talk about, like from reproductive justice health,
I know,
and stuff like that. Like,
and I teach their literal nursing students.
Yeah,
and I don't talk about it.
You
talk about it. But this time I'm going to record I've been doing it virtually because of COVID, but I'm trying to I'm going to be there in November. And I actually, the lady just messaged me today. I need to message her back. But like, I don't know why I never talk about that stuff. But yeah, like y'all, if y'all are doing the things, talk about the things that you're doing.
Listen.
That imposter syndrome is a nasty, dirty asshole.
It's dirty. And I think also from like what we talked about before, it's hard to sometimes because it's like, I don't want to be that nigga.
But you don't want to be that nigga.
It's
but
like,
I am that nigga.
But then also in your head, you're like, but I am.
I'm literally
like,
that
I'm literally
nigga.
him. Like, like y'all gonna put some respect on my name. Like, I really don't care how you feel about it. Like,
sometimes, and that's why I wanted you to toot your own horn, because I'm trying to get better at that too. And I know so many Black trans masculine people who are the same exact way. I was just talking to a friend that does the same thing, and he was like, I got to get better at giving myself my roses.
I think for me though, it's the balance of understanding when that time is, because it's like sometimes I feel
you don't need to be walking into room like, yo, it's me.
No, but it's not that. But it's like sometimes where I just want to be on chill mode. Like, some of my homies, they just call me Trey, right? So for a standpoint of like, I'm just Trey, like I'm just chilling. Like when they be like, yeah, you don't even know who this nigga is. I'm like, yo, chill. Like, whoa, chill, B.
Friends that do that same shit.
I'm chilling, B.
Like I'm literally just trying to sit there and have a drink.
I'm chilling.
Hayden's famous.
Don't do that. Do you know Do you know who's the founder of the organization he runs? And he runs shit over there. I'm like, yo, chill, B.
But I'm just really trying to
just trying to have my Jack and Coke.
We're the same person.
I'm really
you said Jack and Coke. That's my drink. Do you understand? Now, mind you, I haven't drank in like a month and a half, but
Jack and Coke,
Jack and Coke is that girl. Do you understand me?
Honey Jack on ice or Honey Jack chilled is my shit. That's like,
I'm coming to Miami. Bitch, I ain't been back in a minute either, because we the same person, and that don't make no kind of sense. And we don't talk enough. We're gonna talk about why we don't talk enough. I mean, we be busy, and I got kids, but like,
you know what? Let's hold each other accountable to that. I think honestly,
we don't even have each other's fucking phone numbers.
Okay, we're gonna change that. We're gonna change that first off. Yes. I think for me, as the stealth guy, like there was, you know what I'm saying? Because like it's a bunch of y'all that are out invisible that I have relationships with and had relationships with, just people don't realize it. You know what I mean? And for me, it's always been like, I'm rooting for you, and if you need me, I'm right here. Like,
because everything I do, baby, I can guarantee you gonna send me my clapping emoji in my on Instagram. And
listen, I may not say much, but I
you don't gotta say nothing.
I will send a meme. I will send a GIF quick. Like, oh no, I see that shit. Yup.
That is dead ass. That's me too, though. No shame. That's me too. That's me too.
Because honestly, Kaden, there are sometimes you say things. I don't say I agree with everything that you say, but there are sometimes that you say things that I be wanting to say that I can't say.
Yeah, I get that. That's like my brand. Yeah, right. And I that's
so binary. Like.
But I'm binary. I'm so binary. There's nothing non-binary about me.
I'm also assumed heterosexual.
Exactly. Yes, I think that's what it is.
Remember when I posted that? Remember when I posted that status? I was like, femmes think I'm gay men think I'm straight, and both are loud and wrong. And everybody was confused in the comments. They were like, wait, what?
But I knew. But I've been knowing. Like, I be knowing all the things. You know what I'm saying? I always know all the things. I don't feel like it's my business to tell people's business, and I never will. But what I aim to do, and I think that's why I probably won't always be kind of like an underdog, is I aim to be the voice for the voiceless. Like, I'm not going to keep regurgitating the shit that everybody else is regurgitating. I'm going to say the stuff that everybody else is afraid to say. And so that kind of gets me labeled as aggressive, but that's fine. I'll be that. Kaden don't have no filter. That's fine. I'll be that. But at the end of the day, the community who I'm aiming to serve, even if they're not telling me right out, eventually they'll come and say, you know what, honestly, you be saying some stuff, and it's always that. I don't always agree with the things you say, and immediately my ADHD brain goes, so what did you disagree with?
What don't you agree?
What did I say that you didn't like? Because everything I said was facts. But it'd be like, but, and then they always follow up with, but you really be saying the shit I be thinking. And for me, that's more than enough. Like, because you can't please everybody, right? That's fine. But as long as I'm speaking up for the people who live stealth, or who see the disparities but don't know how to have that voice, or don't care to have a voice, or whatever, I need to be the voice for them. That's my whole spiel, and people just don't get it. People think that I'm just trying to be rich and famous, and I am, but I'm neither rich and I'm not even that famous.
I mean,
so, and all of the work that y'all see me do, this podcast, Transgender Time, all of my stuff, my t-shirts, everything is paid for out of my pocket. I'm not sponsored anywhere. And I do it just for the community with nothing else. And that's why the fuck I'm always so broke, because this equipment costs money. These websites cost money. I have so many fucking subscriptions and all of this stuff. And people are like, well, why don't you have money? Well, I have 2 kids and I pay for all of this by myself. So that's why I'm poor. Anyway, another tangent. Why do you keep nodding your head and allowing me to do this? I'm going to put...
Because you already told me you were going to edit it. So it's like, if you don't want all
I'm going to keep my rants in. But, I'm going to keep my rants. But I am going to put all of your information in the caption area so that people have easy access to be able to follow you. Of course, we're going to post this on all the medias and all that good stuff. So y'all make sure y'all give EC a follow. I promise you, it's not just trans tech stuff. He looked like he had a ball for his birthday. I was mad I wasn't on that boat. Even though I'm afraid of boats, I wanted to be on it. And my man's was lit up like a Christmas tree. And I was like, that's exactly how you do it. That's exactly how you do it.
Yo.
In the bed with Journey, like, Daddy, huh? Hold on.
Yo, that was an intentional, like, I'm having a good
And you deserved. And that's all I kept thinking. So y'all make sure y'all give him a follow. If you're not following me, make sure you give me a follow. My name is Caden X Official, all social media platforms. I'm back on Twitter. I don't know. Threads just isn't doing it for me. I don't know. But anyway, I wasn't really on Twitter either. So now I'm on everything. And so if you want to see the video version of this, of course, you have to be subscribed to the Patreon. That's the only place it's going to be. I'm thinking about eventually uploading them all to YouTube too. I shouldn't have told y'all that, because then you won't subscribe to the Patreon. But truth be told, y'all don't really be subscribing to the Patreon anyway. It just be my loyal supporters. And I love y'all. I do. I love y'all. Also, TikTok is super important. Follow me on TikTok. That's where I'm ratchet. Yeah. Well, I'm ratchet everywhere, but I'm super ratchet.
I'm trying to get my follows up on TikTok so I can start going live and stuff.
Yeah, we gonna do that. I did it for my daughter. They won't let her go live because she's too young, and they keep bananaing her. But that's not the point. The point is that I'm very good at that, so we can make that happen. And yeah, so again, if you're not transphobic, fatphobic, racist, ableist, classist, you need to leave a comment, or at least do the poll that's going to be attached to this video. You also need to share it on your timeline somewhere. Leave a comment, subscribe to the Patreon, subscribe to my Instagram, subscribe to me on TikTok, subscribe somewhere. Get on TikTok live and send me a gift. Otherwise, you're either transphobic, fatphobic, racist, ableist, and classist. And as his shirt says, pay black trans folks. Where did you get that?
It's mine.
So buy it from him. I want one. Tell me where to buy one.
Payblacktransfolks.com. Folks is with an X.
I'm about to go buy one right now. And you should too. Okay. Anyway, this was a super long podcast. So if you lasted this long, you really are the GOAT. And I love you, and I want you to know that from the bottom of my heart.
I love you too. If you tuned in just because I was here, so like I appreciate
and feel free to comment.
We've known each other for a while.
If you couldn't tell, so this was like a catch up / podcast. Yeah, so you're welcome. I know this was entertaining. If you're on a road trip right now, you're welcome. You enjoyed this. You enjoyed
You
this.
enjoyed that
You
flight.
laughed, you cried, you did all of it. You felt every emotion just now, didn't you? Didn't you? I know. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for being here. You know I'm always rooting for you. We're gonna get off of here and we're gonna give each other our phone numbers and we're gonna find something. I can't just keep running into you at events. Like it would be nice to know that you're already gonna be there and we can actually be intentional about hanging out.
Heard.
You feel me? All right. Thank y'all for watching so much. You know how I do it. Follow me, subscribe, do all those things. And until then, have the day you deserve.